And welcome back to the Constitutionals Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for the website cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. We're back in the closet. We're back in the closet. What if this just became like a pro R. Kelly podcast and I'd turn it to like the Kelly Files? That was already a show. Megyn Kelly had a show on Fox called the Kelly Files. Okay, well, I don't know why I know that. Maybe because I'm a Megyn Kelly truther. No, it's not true. Any Hoosers. Okay, so here we go. Big day today. Today's Friday. I'm recording this. This episode was supposed to come out yesterday, which is Thursday, the 27th, 5th. Taylor Swift had an album. Not an album. She had a single drop. I will only listen to it once or twice, maybe even 3 times. I'll stop. It's called Me. It features a guy from Panic at the Disco. I think he's the lead singer. I don't know, something like that. And it's fine. I like it. It's really cool. Bubblegummy pop. I can't wait to see what she does for the rest of the album. I can only assume it's going to be super duper pop. She's done 80s. She's done just straight rock, which I would say Red is probably straight rock. It's like, rock and pop. And then Reputation is, I was going to say metal. Not metal. It's not right. It's like 80s pop and synth and all that stuff. And this one's probably just going to be straight pop, straight bubblegum pop. She's going into a little bit of, as much as I dislike her, Ariana Grande territory. And I dislike Ariana Grande. Okay, so let's do this. Let's jump right into this show. Okay, first up, Apex Legends. Interest fails may affect EA stocks. So Apex Legends is another one of these shooters. These what are they called? Battle Royales. I was going to say Battleborn, but that was a shooter that failed. That was supposed to be in competition with Overwatch, and then Overwatch won the shooter space for a little bit. This comes from Variety, which is doing gaming coverage for some reason, from Stephanie Fogel. Analysts, Apex Legends declining popularity could hurt EA stock. Listen, if you want to follow along the stories, I always include them in the notes, because I keep notes now. Title. Okay. Here we go. Interest in the game is fading, the website said, and since it makes up a substantial portion of EA stock valuation, the publisher is facing a substantial decline. This comes from a financial website, Seeking Alpha. She quoted them. I also have a new article that says PlayStation 5 won't release before April 2020. Duh, we know that. Okay, anyway. Okay. So Apex Legends is a shooter. You take a squad out, 3 people, and you're dropped into an island, and the people, your team runs around, and they shoot other teams. You have to be the last team standing. And you can revive people. Yeah, unlike Fortnite, you can revive people and all this stuff. But I think Fortnite is still doing so well compared to Apex Legends. Apex Legends was on top for a little bit, and then it just fell. You can probably hear Parks and Rec playing on the TV in the background. It is Parks and Recreation, season 3, I believe, beginning of season 3. I've seen that show 1,000 times, 1,000 a million times, but I just need something to be a barrier between, this closet and whatever's happening. I saw the video for the last episode. I should have put up a light, but I am too lazy. Any Hoosers. Earlier this month, Stream Elements reported the number of hours people spent watching Apex Legends and this is on Twitch, fell from over 40, and I don't know, maybe YouTube, fell from over 40 million in February to just over 10 million in March. Twitch viewership and Google searches are down substantially as well, according to Seeking Alpha. Streamers like Ninja and Dr. Disrespect have turned to other titles like Fortnite, with the latter comparing Apex Legends to Daybreak's failing battle royale game H1Z1. Now, the thing about Apex Legends is, compared to H1Z1, which came out against something else. H1Z1 came out against another like shooter of the same ilk, and I think it was PUBG. It came out against PUBG, and the reason H1Z1 failed was because it was not a good game. It was not made well. It was people just hated it. The controls, the gameplay was bad. And I believe it took a couple years to get a full release, and even still, it was still bad. But Apex Legends is made by the team that made Titanfall and Titanfall 2, and it's a substantially better game. Respawn Entertainment. People love that series mostly for it's not not for the multiplayer aspect, but mostly for the story. And they're able to translate all of that, all the gameplay and stuff, into the multiplayer, and it's still solid multiplayer. And just I haven't followed Apex Legends, so I don't know. I'm not defending it, but currently, Seeking Alpha believes Apex Legends deleted. I just turned. I wish you could have seen my thumb react so fast. I just exited out of the entire thing. Apex Legends is worth around 1.8 to 2.4 billion, which is way lower than the 7.4 billion plus valuation the market gave it right after launch. All right, moving on to the next story. Let's talk about Sinemia. Sinemia was a competitor to MoviePass. They had been around maybe just as long. I really don't know or care. Subscription services, and we'll talk about this later, but it's just, there's too many to exist right now. Everything is turning into a subscription service. I just got a Quip electric toothbrush, and if you're watching Quip, I would love to be sponsored. I got a plastic one. I want a metal one. Plastic one is substantially cheaper. But I got a Quip electric toothbrush. The only way to get heads and batteries from them is to subscribe. You can't just buy them outright. I can't just go to Target like I did and buy the toothbrush. Like I bought the toothbrush there, but I can't just buy heads there. I have to subscribe to them, pay $5 every 3 months, and I get a head and a battery. And I can just get a regular battery. I can get rechargeable batteries and buy a head. But who knows? But who cares? I do. Sinemia has failed. Shortly after MoviePass has gone bankrupt and got taken off of the stock market and all this stuff, Sinemia failed in the U.S. and now they're packing up shop and they're heading out. I saw the story I saw the story on Wednesday. It is Friday now. I saw the story on Wednesday and I thought, okay. Well, they just hit a stumble like MoviePass and they tried to recover. No, they failed completely and they pulled out. And rather than fall like MoviePass did over the past year and a half, they decided, hey, let's just shut it down completely. This comes from Engadget, written by Richard Lawler. Sinemia's, I actually applied to be a freelancer on Engadget. Did I hear back? You bet your butt I didn't. They advertise it on the website and then they ask you to click. And I have written so much. I've written for news. I've worked for news. Come on, guys. Sinemia's theater subscription shuts down in the U.S. Richard Lawler, Engadget. As MoviePass stumbled, Sinemia presented itself with an all-you-can-eat movie-going alternative. So Sinemia had like 5 different packages. It had a cheap one for $3.99, and you get one ticket, and you get to take that ticket, and I think you get one ticket a month, and you get to watch whatever movie you want for $3.99. Then they had like a $6.99, then like a all-you-can-eat $12 or $15.99 or $20 one, and they just had different packages, and that's how it would differentiate itself from MoviePass. They give you 1 ticket, 2 tickets, 3 tickets, or 4, or all unlimited. The service has announced it's shutting down. A note on the front page of its website confirms what subscribers have suspected, citing unexpected legal proceedings, including a patent lawsuit filed by MoviePass and lack of capital. So they didn't have the what is his name? I talked about this guy for so long and I can picture him in my head. Who is the guy who did MoviePass? He also worked for Netflix. Richard something. MoviePass. I gotta look this up. This is gonna bother me. This is so embarrassing because I am just flummoxed. Mitch Lowe. Mitch Lowe was he didn't create MoviePass, but he gave a lot of money to Movie. He was a key investor. So Mitch Lowe was able to sweet talk a bunch of companies into giving MoviePass a lot of money that it did not need to continue operating. And over the past, 4 or 5 years, when it was still like a $50 service, $50 per month, that's how. I mean, $50 is still pretty good. $40, still pretty good. Even if it was 20, I think it could have still be. I think it would still be operating today, if it was $20 per month. You know how much 20? I'm in Atlanta. I can go to Atlantic Station right now, buy a ticket for Avengers Endgame. I won't do that, but I can go right now, buy a ticket for Avengers Endgame, go to Atlantic Station in Atlanta, which is just a jaunt up the highway for me. and that'll be $17. I could go to North DeKalb Mall, which is just a jaunt down the Ponce for me, and that'll be $5. But I can't do that. I won't see Avengers. But I will read the wiki just to see what happens. The company hasn't responded to inquiry about whether or not it will continue in other countries and has gone dormant on social media. While these subscription packages have stumbled, the concept seems... Okay, so anyway. So there are others that have survived. AMC survived. Alamo Drafthouse is looking to do it. But the letter it's sad. Sinemia is saying they've been working since 2014, so they've been doing this for 5 years. They have been trying to do this, get off the ground, but I mean, it's no more. That's what happens. They tried to rejigger their word you never hear. They're trying to that might be another title. They tried to be a part of the changing plan of movie subscribing services. They tried to be a part of that changing plan. They tried to actually change their plans several months ago, or a couple months ago, rather, where they would prices would fluctuate, or it just wouldn't. They'd be like MoviePass. They would just turn off certain movies at certain points. It's not. I'm not sad to see them go because once you come in, if you come in swinging, and they came in swinging after MoviePass died. Like MoviePass was on its way out. MoviePass had like 2 broken legs and 1 arm, and it was pulling itself across the ground, and they were kicking it as it was doing so. But I mean, this is what happens when Sinemia is not able to get along with their promises. Moving on, Disney kills Fox movies. This comes from Slash Film, written by Chris Evangelista. Some white guy. Disney is killing multiple Fox films, heavily scrutinizing others. Okay, so as we know, Disney bought Fox, and some cool things came out of it. They got the Avengers, they got Fantastic Four, they got Deadpool. They're making a streaming service. A lot of cool things. A lot of bad things happen. Let's see. All of the X-Men Fox films are going to probably be canceled after Dark Phoenix and New Mutants come out. New Mutants is probably dead in the water. Probably won't even come out. We'll see what happens. It might be released on Hulu. Let's see. The Simpsons is going to Disney Plus. Let's see. But the 4,000 jobs were axed. Oh, man. Any Hoosers. But here we are. It's Disney bought Fox. Yay. And we have a monopoly on the movie business. Okay. So while some fans were... Okay. Blah, 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 blah. THR has a disheartening story claiming Disney is killing off several projects in the wake of their big Fox deal. Per the report, quote, film studio chief Alan Horn has jettisoned a number of Fox projects from his development and pre-production slate, including the $170 million tentpole Mouse Guard, the Tom Hanks star News of the World to Universal, and an adaptation of Angie Thomas's bestseller On the Come Up to Paramount. So, he gives this example. THR says Disney killed On the Come Up, didn't make the cut because Thomas's last project, The Hate You Give, lost $30 million to $40 million despite a modest $23 million budget and a marketing spend believed to be about $30 million. The Hate You Give was the movie based on the book about the young black woman who starts dating a white guy, or who's dating a white guy, KJ Apka, I believe, and somebody gets shot or something. I don't know. It's on Hulu. I'll watch it. Or I think it's on Amazon. I don't know. It's on one of those. It's on one of the many streaming services. One of the 3 that should exist. The others need to be killed. Disney is now unwilling to give a similar project a fair shake. Okay. He says that should alarm people, but probably won't. When do we start getting editorial in these news things? So we still have a bunch of Fox projects still going on. Steven Spielberg's West Side Story, the Kingsman prequel, and R.L. Stein's Fear Street. I didn't know that they were doing an adaptation of R.L. Stein books continually, other than Goosebumps. I hope Fear Street has Will Smith's The Nightmare on My Street. The song. That's a good song. There's a nightmare on my street. Sounds a lot like Scooby or Shaggy. I've been watching Good Girls on NBC. Man, that's a great show. Matthew Lillard is fantastic. Retta's great. Mae Whitman, Christina Hendricks. Everybody's so good. The guy who plays Rickety Cricket from Always Sunny is in that show for a little bit. Allison Tolman's in that show. That is a wonderful show with mostly female leads, and it is so good. Any users. So yeah, we have Disney killing movies. It's not good. It's not good. These movies could have done a lot for it. You know, they're in the business of making blockbusters. They're not in the business of independent films, such as, you know, Paramount or Universal or Fox were. I can't remember the last time Disney put out an independent film. I don't think they have. You know, they have all these things that they expect to make at least $100 million, which is a crazy thing. And if they don't see a return, like on Mouse Guard, which was supposed to make which was spent $170 million. What is Mouse Guard? I'm looking it up right now. Mouse Guard looks like it is about. Let's see. I don't want to get this wrong because it looks crazy. A brotherhood of mice are sworn to help their fellow mice. A live-action feature adaptation of David Peterson's graphic novel. Oh, that's pretty cool. Who's in it? Idris Elba? Andy Serkis? Jack Whitehall? Oh, neat. All right, seems like a British film. I'd watch it. Let's see. When it comes to Fox-related properties, Disney wants, quote, larger all-audience PG-13 R-rated films. Oh, Jesus Christ, Disney. This is what you people wanted. Is this what you people wanted? One of these stupid tentpole films. Okay, continue on with Disney. Disney defends paying execs millions. Others, they don't get as much. Okay, so Abigail Disney, the heir to the Disney throne, saw Bob Iger, CEO Bob Iger's money, his check. I don't know if you guys can tell or not, but I'm not wearing pants if you're watching the video. I'm just wearing a shirt. You can't see my under britches. But Abigail Disney, she's apparently an activist, and she's the granddaughter, of Disney co-founder Roy O. Disney. And she sees that there are imbalances in the company's salary practices. It comes from IndieWire, written by Jude Dry. And she's right. Bob Iger made $65.6 million last year, which is a lot of money. And they gave a little differential here. It's about 1,424 times that of the median Mouse House employee. That means the janitors who clean up around the company, the company's offices, the people who work in Disney World and Disneyland and all these other places, they don't get a lot of money. Disney has made historic investments to expand the earning potential and upward mobility of our workers, implementing a starting hourly wage of $15 at Disneyland. That's double the federal minimum wage. This is from a statement they gave to New York Times. Adding that the company had committed up to $150 million for an education initiative that gives hourly employees the opportunity to obtain a college or vocational degree at no cost. But you got to remember where Disneylands and Disney Worlds are. There's one in Orlando, there's one in California. If you give the minimum, the $15 minimum wage to the ones in California, to people in California, that's still not enough to live, even if they're working 40 hours a week. Living out there is expensive, which is why they move. Which doesn't make sense. I mean, okay. Anywho, according to Times, Disney said that 90% of Iger's compensation was based on financial performance. It also noted that Iger's tenure at the company had led Disney's stock price to rise to $133 a share from $24, which directly benefits the literally thousands of people who hold our stock. I could hold stock. I worked at plenty of jobs where I was given stock options. Because I worked there, but the thing is that doesn't help. That's not going to pay the rent. That's not going to buy my lunch for the day. That's not gonna help me pay for all the other things that need to be paid for. When he makes $65 million, where he could take, 50% of that and pay for everybody in California, for every single one of the workers in California, give them a raise. What do you do with $65 million? Who are you going to give that to? Your family? You spend it on a house and you buy things. What does that help? If I made that much money, I would give to charities all the time, and I would do my best to help out. I wouldn't just sit around making Avengers films and movies like The Nutcracker, which fail at the box office. You heard that, Bob Iger, if you're listening. I know you like listening to podcasts that don't get enough listeners to continue doing this for some reason. In response to the company's assertion that it pays its workers double the federal minimum wage, Abigail Disney wrote, Disney's argument also fails to recognize that the company worked quietly to try to defeat a ballot initiative to lift the minimum wage paid by certain employers to $15 an hour in Anaheim, California. Anaheim. You know how close Anaheim is to Burbank and LA and to everything else? $15 an hour does nothing. $15 an hour there is like $9 here. It's slightly better, but it's not gonna do much. As for why she is speaking out publicly against the company, she said she believes the brand, quote, occupies a special place in the economic landscape. Its profits are powered by emotion and sentiment, and yes, something as fundamental as the difference between right and wrong. That's pretty good. And no one's called. I mean, people are probably called. I looked at her Twitter account. Her last name is Disney. She's an activist. She has no followers, which is crazy, which is insane. But she's not even verified. That's really cool, though. I really like that. That's how it should be. That's how it should be. They should be making waves without needing to have 7 million followers. All right, I'll move on to one last thing. Oh, you know what? I watched. Really quick, I watched Someone Great, and it's a fine movie. I do not plan on. I never want to see it again. It's a fine movie, and it's Jesus Christ. I'm just trying to find this goddamn Wikipedia page. Directed by Jennifer Caitlin Robinson, written by Jennifer Caitlin Robinson as well, starring Brittany Snow, Jesse Henderson. Nope. Looked at the wrong people. Brittany Snow, DeWanda Wise, and Gina Rodriguez. It's about Gina Rodriguez. She got a job at Rolling Stone, San Francisco, which has not existed for like 5 years or something like that. And it's true that Rolling Stone closed its offices in San Francisco years ago, but she'd been dating what's his name, Lakeith Stanfield for about 9 years. Then he decided it hadn't been working out for a while, and then they said, all right, we're gonna break up. And then she's just in love with him. That's the story. The movie feels like 7 different movies and TV shows. It feels like just like that. 7 different movies and TV shows and short films all stuffed into one. And it's it's problematic. It's so fast, and it just kind of throws things here and there. Things just kind of happen. There's a good supporting cast, but people just pop up for half a second. Rosario Dawson, her character is supposed to be Lakeith Stanfield's character's cousin, and when Gina and her friends see her on the street, Gina's like, this woman hates me, and she's gonna make fun of me, and she's gonna look down on me, and I tell her about the breakup, and they try to hide from her, and ultimately this all happens in 3 minutes. I'm not kidding. It happens in 3 minutes. And Rosario Dawson sees them. She goes, oh, hey, how you doing? They're like talking like, I'm going to this thing. And then Gina's like, we broke up. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, bye. And then she leaves. And that is what happens. They try to buy drugs from a character played by Jabuka Young White. And that's probably like one of the funnier scenes. I don't know. It's just it's fast, and it feels like I just finished a bag This is very true. I just finished a bag of Starburst jelly beans for Easter. I love those things so much during Easter time. Oh, only during Easter time do they taste good. I just finished a bag, and it feels like during that entire time, I had 92 of them because that movie's 92 minutes long. I had 92, and then it's great right now. Like, I was like, oh, this is fine. I'm chewing for a long time, and they're not really healthy, and I can feel it sticking to my teeth. That's how this movie felt. It didn't feel too good. But a lot of good people are in there. And then this, along the same vein was Ibiza with Phoebe Robinson, Gillian Anderson, and Vanessa Bayer. Fun movie. And even though I can name everything that happened and all the characters at the top of it off the top of my head right now, there's still ultimately nothing substantial about it. There's nothing, and I'm not saying that every movie needs to have a meaty part. I'm not saying every movie needs to be, this is what happens and it is insane and it's crazy and it's going to stick with you forever. Not every movie has to have that. But I think every movie needs to stand on its own and be something unique and special. And that's what I mean. But, Ibiza was that, and it was someone great. It was someone great. Didn't have the factor that made it stand out. At least Ibiza, for all of its tropish, elements and everything, it took place halfway across the world. For someone great, it was in New York City, and it had the wrong detail of Rolling Stone offices in San Francisco. Anyway, How to Be Single. I love that movie to death. And it's just like Someone Great. It's Someone Great, except it doesn't take place in one day like that movie does. I just kissed the microphone. Mwah! Kiss the Microphone. That's a good title. Okay. Let's get on to the final episode. I got 3 titles for this episode. We'll see which one I land on. This comes from the Washington Post. Cheap streaming cannot exist or survive. Same thing. I've got another article from Variety called it's about skinny bundles and how they're going to fail. So this first article comes from the Washington Post. How the dream of cheap streaming television became a pricey, complicated mess. Written by Steve Zajic and Craig Timberg. And the Variety article is written by Janko Rotagers. Cord cutting will accelerate in 2019. Skinny bundles poised to fail. Report. So as you know, as I've discussed, there have been multiple new streaming services offered. And of course, Disney Plus is going to come this fall. And with it, it's going to offer at some point a bundle with ESPN Plus and Hulu Plus. Apparently, Comcast is going to sell its 30% stake in Hulu. Don't do that, Comcast. Come on. Just stop giving these things monopolies. This is crazy. So, all this whining about, paying $200 for cable and but having so many channels to watch and not want to watch them all, and you only want to watch this show and all this blah, blah, blah. Now that we have all these different streaming services, it is going to be, I'm going to quote the Washington Post article, a bill of its own. They're talking about Netflix, Amazon, Hulu Plus, and then more. Okay, so here we go. These are great articles. Definitely check them out. Disney Plus is going to be $6.99. If cord cutters, this is from Craig Moffat of Moffat and Nathanson. I wonder if he's related to Alex Moffat from SNL. If cord cutters thought there was some way they were going to evade the tyranny of annual price increases, they were deluding themselves. Every economist in the world tried to warn the outcome of that system would be higher prices and less choice. And lo and behold, that's where we landed. Which, again, I've been saying this for a long time. Those who study the entertainment industry debate the underlying reasons for this. One group blames the industry's biggest players for reasserting their control over pricing in a way that disadvantages consumers, and Washington for allowing that to happen. Streaming services are profitable beneficiaries of these shifts, while consumers' wallets are the losers. The other side, including Moffat, says the outcome was inevitable for a range of predictable reasons. Americans want the best, coolest shows, and these cost a lot of money in actors, sets, big-name directors, and special effects. Even for a television show, these expenses can run into millions of dollars per episode. Nothing is going to be free. This is what it is. I just read a quote from the from the article, from the Washington Post article. This is the moving from cable to streaming was always going to happen like this. Even with Netflix, this is kind of, Netflix has been raising prices for the past, I think, like 5 or 6 years, because it used to be just one price, and then it went up to from $10. It went up from $8.99 to $10, and then went from $10 to $12, and went from $12 and now it's going to $15. And people are like, oh, if it buys them more shows, then I'll be great, but I don't mind as long as I don't get an ad. But eventually, you're going to be paying a premium for all these different things, because that's the only way that Netflix can make their cash. Again, they're cash poor. They really need the money to continue doing these things. And as long as you continue to help them out, then they're going to do it. Tim Wu, author of The Attention Merchant, argues that Disney's announcement and other recent developments signal that a what is that? What is that word? Hackalian? Halicon? What does that mean? What is that word? I'm going to turn on my laptop and we're going to hear it. Halcyon. Halcyon era is ending. One in which disruption in the entertainment industry unleashed opportunities for better consumer deals. The deals came for those willing to cancel their cable services while being careful in adding new streaming services. Such restraint has gotten harder as the industry has fractured, with many entities, including sports leagues and genre-focused partners, now offering their own packages. I think WWE has its own streaming service. I wouldn't doubt it if they do, and I wouldn't doubt it's in the works if they don't. Streaming was always going to lead to this, and you can't complain. Amazon, and who cares about ads, guys? Come on, this is the cheapest stuff in the world. Anyway, Amazon, whenever you open up their app on the mobile app, you watch a short trailer for a new show or movie that they have. Hulu, you pay $6, you can watch with ads. You pay $12, you can watch without ads. You trying to dodge ads is not helping the situation. Because eventually these monopolies and these bigger companies are just going to want to drop their ads in there. They can drop ads if they want to. You're only paying $12. This is from the Variety. The pace of cord cutting is continuing to accelerate this year, according to a new Convergence Research Group is what I'm going to say. Report, with 4.56 million TV households opting to ditch pay TV. By the end of the year, 34% of U.S. households won't have a traditional TV subscription, according to the research company's latest Battle for the American Couch Potato report. In the report, Convergence estimated that the pay TV industry will see a 5% decline in pay television subscribers in 2019. That's up from 44%. That's up from 4% in 2018, when an estimated 4.01 million U.S. subscribers ditched their TV service. Based on the top 66 online video services, the number of streaming subscribers will actually surpass the number of traditional pay TV subscribers this year. Households can subscribe to both. And they have a nifty little chart that shows the numbers that I just can't read right now. Attempts to convert cord cutters to skinny bundle subscribers won't pay off for the industry, Convergence predicted. Skinny bundles are those like I just said, Disney packaging ESPN Plus and Hulu Plus into one thing. I don't know if DirecTV Now and Hulu with Live TV and YouTube TV and PlayStation View, I don't know if they're considered skinny bundles, but yeah. But this is where the world leaves us with all this different stuff. It's important to note that I don't know where I'm going with this. Just rubbing my face, and I don't know where I'm going with this. It's important. You gotta think about this. When cable was coming about, we only had antenna TV, and then you had like 11 channels, and even then, you still couldn't watch what you wanted to watch. You could just like throw in a tape in the VCR and record it from there, and you could rewatch that tape over and over again. And then when that tape dies, transfer that data from that tape to a new tape if you had one of those VCRs. And then we had cable, and then cable opened up a breadth of options, and then with that, different channels, and with the different channels came more ads. And then eventually DVRs, and then TiVo. TiVo became a big thing in the early 2000s, and skipping past ads, and then we have the Hopper, and then the Hopper skipped past commercials with the press of a button, and we are surprised that these companies want to show you their stuff via commercials, and or they have lower quality things, and it's just where this is what this happens when you try to rebel from one thing to another. And there's no way around it. I mean, we're already in the thick of it. You could go back to cable if you wanted to, but why would you if you don't want to pay $150? Or you could stick with this, and you could buy with streaming, and you could subscribe, because you don't even own this stuff. Again, you can subscribe to 15 different services, and finally, watch the one show on DC Universe, and watch the 7 shows on Hulu, and the 14 shows on Netflix, and the 7 shows on Amazon, and the 2 shows on Crackle, and Disney Plus and Apple Plus. It's this is what happens. This is what happens to the world. Speaking of which, if you like what you heard here, why don't you head on over to the website, cpluscomedy.com. I think it's down right now because it's down right now. cpluscomedy.com is down right now. I'm very sorry. So don't head on over there. Head to the website, though, youtube.com/cpluscomedy, to watch videos of this. You can watch a video version of this show, as well as the premiere show for the website, News Time, which is a great show. Weekly news show I do every week. I have not missed a week yet. Oh, God. Knock on wood. I don't have wood. Oh, I do. Knock on wood up here. Okay. Knock on wood, hopefully. Yeah. It's a great show. I don't know what this week's episode is about. Who cares? Check it out. All right. I'm going to hang up. I'm going to eat some lunch. Bye.